Hi Tallies, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be another sit down conversation, but before I even get into the topic for today, make sure you guys subscribe. So I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Alright Tallies, and if you're already part of the family, welcome back. This video is going to be called How I Manifested My Husband. I have been contemplating bringing up this topic for a while because I felt like I didn't want to put out bad content. I wanted to put out good content and good enough content for you guys to understand truly what I meant. So I told myself, Chizzy, put on your big girl pants and let's do this. So I am going to be talking to you guys today about how I manifested my husband. So if you want to know how I did that, then keep on watching. Alright guys, so first off, I just want to say that when I mean by manifestation, I mean multiple different things. I mean believing, words of action, words of confirmation, words of affirmation, and prayer. Okay? Those are the things that I mean all together when I mean how I manifested my husband. So let's just dive into it. So how I manifested him is one thing. I wasn't looking for him. I think a lot of women think that you have to go out in the world or in public and go searching for your man. I gotta go find my man. It's not that. Honestly, truly, I read this book called The 7 Laws of Success, and one chapter that really stuck with me is Law of Attraction. Law of letting go is real, you guys. It's real. Like, the minute you let things go and let things kind of just flow and figure out, you know what, I did the best I can, I'm gonna leave it all up to God, or, you know, just leave it all up to the universe, it literally helps you in the long run. I met Dylan at a time where you always hear these stories, oh, I wasn't looking for him, and you know, he just kind of popped in my head or popped in my space, and here I am. Those stories are true, and that's how it happened with me. I don't want to give you guys another cliche story, but that is what happened with me. I did meet him at a time where I was not looking for a relationship. I was at a time where I wanted to finish my master's degree, wanted to find a job and live my best life. And currently I was living my best life when I met him, and I just felt like, you know what, here we go, another guy trying to come in here and ruin my peace. And that's how I usually felt. So that was a time where I did not want to date. Like, dating was like, no. I need to focus on school. I need to focus on my career and figure out what I'm gonna do from now after I get my master's. So I met him, and one thing I can say, when you manifest something so beautiful, I always told myself that I am deserving of a guy who's gonna worship the ground I walk on. He's going to love me for who I am. He doesn't want to change me. He wants to see me grow. He wants to see me evolve. And that is what Dylan was. Dylan is. You know, Dylan is that. Dylan is all of that and more. And everything flowed naturally. That's the next thing. How things have blossomed so beautifully is that everything flowed and everything felt so easy. One thing you guys have to understand is that if you meet a guy or a girl and things don't flow easily, like things just don't, they're not organic, they're not, I don't even know how to say it, they're not blossoming, and it's a perfect example. If they're not going smoothly for you, that should be a red flag for you. That should be a red flag to be like, maybe there's something just not connecting with both of us. And that's okay. Every guy you meet or every girl you meet is not going to be the one. And I feel like a lot of us get discouraged because it's like, oh, this is just another wasted moment or another L. But you cannot have that attitude, because having that type of attitude does transpire into your life. Having negative thoughts does transpire into your life. I always tell my friends and my family members that your thoughts and your words are powerful, so you have to be mindful of what you say to them, because it can become reality real quick, and then you're really like in a bad predicament. So I just try to tell people that you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that everything's okay. There'll be times where I actually get into my bad moods and I don't want to talk to anyone, and I'm super pessimistic. However, I have my times where I snap out of it. Like, I give myself, like, I don't know, sometimes it'll be an hour where I'm just like, ugh. And then I just kind of like snap out of it, you know? I'm a very spiritual and religious person, so when I have my bad days or I have my bad moments, I really try just to rely on God, because he's the only one that's going to be able to take care of me when I can't take care of myself. So I try to just rely on him. And if you're not religious, try and lean into, you know, the universe or anybody that you worship, and figure out what the issue is and push it to the side. Okay? Being positive just shows a brighter light to you. Being positive actually attracts more people to you. You know, the more open and lighthearted you are to people, the more people gravitate towards you. It's not rocket science. Who wants to be around somebody that's mean? Who wants to be around somebody that complains all the time? Who wants to be around someone that is just so pessimistic and just so a Debbie Downer? Nobody wants to be around that. I definitely don't want to be around that. I excuse myself, or I just don't hang out with people that are Debbie Downers. So that is how I manifested a man that has the same attributes as me. The next one, I would say, and these are just going off of, like, you know, we're just sitting down, we're talking. Us women, we have a tendency to date a guy or try to talk to a guy that has potential. Forget potential. When you meet a guy and you get to go on dates a couple times and you cannot figure out what his core values are, and you can't figure out if he's a good person or not, 9 out of 10 times he's probably not a good person. He's probably not a good person. And I'm not trying to say that you have to use your own decision-making skills with this one, because yes, men mature a lot slower than women. However, you can just sense when you meet a guy and their core values are aligned with yours. You'll just know. You'll just know, like, you know what, this guy is a good guy. This guy is a man of God. This guy is a hardworking guy. This guy is educated. This guy, like, you'll know. And I don't want women to be in here and be like, oh, I was just blinded by love, or I'm blinded by lust. We are not at a time in our lives where we have to continue to go in these cycles where we're blinded by lust. Sometimes you really have to really be real with yourself and be like, Chizzy, come on. Do you see yourself in the future with this guy and building with this guy? You have to want to build with this person, you know? You kind of have to want to be like, ooh, I can put my skills and his skills together and we can make a huge situation right now. Instead of like, I don't know, maybe if I give him more time, or like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So find a mate that you're compatible with and that you see future growth in. You feel like, you know what, 2 years from now, we're gonna be in a whole different predicament. We're gonna be elevating each year. You wanna have a partner where you kinda make the other person better. You have to kind of push them and motivate them to be better. And you're gonna see yourself evolving too in your own self journey. So definitely find a mate that you're comfortable in growth. Knowing truly what you want out of your future. Do you want kids? Do you want to get married? Do you want to buy a house with your significant other? These are all things where you have to be like, you got to talk about it. You have to talk about it. And I'm not saying there's a certain timeline where you're not supposed to talk about it and when you are supposed to talk about it, but when you're comfortable in yourself and you figure out, okay, and I'm not saying, oh, you have to give yourself a timeline. Do not do timelines, ladies. Do not do timelines. I'm saying is, if I find a guy that I like, I help, and I need to be vocal and make sure that my values and what my goals are the same with his or hers. And if it's not, you have to take that as a sign to either reevaluate the situation or move on. And I don't want women to be like, well, maybe my values or my goals are just not that important right now. Do not step down your goals or what you want in life because your partner doesn't want that. That might not be your partner for you. Everything, like I said in the beginning of the video, should flow smoothly. It should go with ease. It shouldn't have to be a headache. It shouldn't have to be a worry. None of that should be that. It should be like, wow, I just can't wait for the future. You know, I don't know what the future has for us, but I'm excited to go with it through you, with you. I tell my friends all the time, I loved my single life. I loved every single minute of it. And I'm not saying this because I want to go back to it. I'm saying this because I enjoyed me being me. I enjoyed my alone time. I enjoyed getting to know people. I enjoyed going on dates. I enjoyed meeting people at parties or events. I enjoyed getting to know people. And I enjoyed in that process of what I truly want. Being single is not bad. Being single and actually letting things flow is actually the best thing that can work for you guys, because when you're single, guys, you need to know what makes you you. You need to know what makes you happy, what you don't, what makes you not happy. You need to figure this out, and I feel like people don't really usually can't figure this out until they're single. You cannot figure this out with your significant other. Your significant other cannot make you tell you what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy. You have to figure that out on your own. And I feel like people make being single as like it's a bad thing. It's not bad. Being single is not bad. Being single, my gosh, being single is what molds you into you. I'm so comfortable in my skin, and you know, Dylan is in the military, so he obviously sometimes we have to do a long distance relationship, and people be like, oh my god, I can't, this is I don't know how you do it. You know how I do it? You know how I do it when it's like weeks or months without Dylan? You know how I do it? I read books, I pray, I go work out every day, I do YouTube, I do TikTok, I hang out with my friends, I go out to dinner by myself, I do self-care appointments by myself. Those are the things that I feel like makes me me. I love my alone time. I love getting to know and learn new things, you know, by myself. And then when Dylan comes back, it's just like we kind of pick up where we left off, you know. I'm telling him what I've learned, I'm telling him what I did, you know, and it's just it's a time period where we get older and we learn new things and we grow and we change, and usually your partner has to adapt to that, and I have to adapt to Dylan too, changing and learning new things and evolving as the time apart from us. So it's not a bad thing to be alone, and it's not a bad thing to just want to explore and use your options. And Dylan and I, when we were talking to other people at the time, but we realized that me and him connected a lot better and a lot more than the other people. And we realized, and we talked about it, we talked about being exclusive, we talked about moving to the next step. And you have to be vocal, you have to be honest, and you have to be very, very communicative with your significant other or with somebody that could be a potential, and be like, hey, I really like you and I hope you like me too, but I just feel like I'm ready to move on to the next step. I'm ready to elevate with you, and I want to know if you're on the same page. Yeah, those awkward conversations, those awkward topics have to happen. I'm sorry. They have to happen in order for you to evolve. You cannot just keep your thoughts to yourself, keep your worries to yourself, and think that that other person is going to be able to read your mind, because they can't read our minds, people. They can't read our minds. Another thing that sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, my friends do this. Family members that I know do this. Don't stop your blessing because you want a man to look a certain way. Don't do that. Don't do that, y'all. Don't do that. You don't know what you missed with your blessing when you do things like that. You don't know what just walked past you. You don't even notice that, because guess what? You're stuck in your, this is how it's supposed to look, this is how my man's supposed to look, this is what he's supposed to do, this is how he's supposed to dress. Like, I'm a type of girl that always goes for your character, number 1, 2, your personality, and then 3 would be looks. And and I'm not saying, oh, completely just disregard your preferences in a man and just go for whoever. I'm saying is maybe the guy that is really feeling you and you're really feeling them isn't as tall as what you would want to be, but his character is on point. He's a man of God, he's hardworking, and he has a little swag to him. You're gonna decline that because he's not that tall, or you're gonna decline a guy that's like maybe doesn't dress, but he's just so sweet to you. He just loves being around you. He wants to get to know you. He wants to really, really like build with you. You're gonna decline that because he doesn't know how to dress? This is what I'm talking about. You have to not be so wrapped up on the perfect handsome guy or girl. Like, you just cannot do that. You have to be like, okay, I like you for you, and I'm not gonna fake it. I'm not gonna front like, oh yeah, like this can't work because of so and so. Like, dressing up, and I don't even know how to say this, the outer appearance of a guy or a girl is not what matters. It is the last thing that should matter when you're trying to find your person. Personally, that should be the last thing, because I really feel like even just people that I know, they just tend to just miss that because it's not what they're used to. It's not what they are usually into. And you don't even know who this girl or guy is gonna do for you in your life. You don't even know what you guys are gonna be able to connect on. Like, it's crazy how people miss out on their blessing because of the criteria that they need to have before that. It's just, I think it's really, really bogus, and I think we need to stop doing that. I think we need to stop doing that. That's all I have to say. I think we need to stop doing that, and yeah, I think we just need to stop doing that. I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's okay, but hey, I don't think that should happen, and it definitely takes time. I'm not saying, oh yeah, by tomorrow I'm gonna be able to be, good. I'm gonna be able to talk to any other guy. No, it takes time, and it takes a self-realization that is like, maybe my criteria isn't working, and maybe I need to do something different. Sometimes, guys, when you try the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and it doesn't work out, you might want to be like, this isn't really working out for a while. Let me switch it up. Let me do something that I've never done before and see if it works. And I guarantee you guys, it usually works. We are not perfect. And either or. I'm not perfect, Dylan's not perfect, we are not perfect. And we have our flaws. You cannot search for a man or woman and think that you're gonna be able to find that perfect person that doesn't tick you off, that you don't get annoyed with. Like, guys, that's not even reality. You will get pissed. You will find flaws in your significant other. But is it flaws that you can work with? Is it flaws that you can understand? Is it flaws that you can live with? Those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. And then just instead of saying, oh yeah, well, he has too many flaws, I'm not even gonna deal with it. No, you gotta really, really analyze things to the core. And then you'll figure out, and you'll find your answer. You'll find your answer right in front of you. And I feel like people just kind of don't want to put in the work to find their person, and they just feel like everything's supposed to just happen like this. Guys, that's not life. Sorry to push it. It's not life. It does not work like that. You can't be like, yeah, I found him. He needs to be my man. We need to do this. We need to do that. Instead of just analyzing what is usually the next step. Like, okay, what have you learned since you've gotten to know this guy or girl? You know, what have you learned of what they want in life? You gotta like have those type of questions and stop assuming and stop thinking, oh yeah, well, because we're, you know, hanging out, that like this is gonna be the next step. No, open your mouth and be vocal. You have to be vocal. Like, I always thought that, you know, people actually appreciate honesty. We always talk about, oh, be honest, be honest, be honest. And then at the same time, when we're honest, you know, it's like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like, no, be honest. I think honesty and transparency, especially in the beginning of a relationship, will take you way farther than being a yes woman or man. Don't do that. I was that a long time ago, like in my early college years, and I got played by this dude, and I told myself I would never ever get played ever like that again, that I was going to stand up for myself and I was going to be vocal about what I want in life. And I think it has helped me in the long run, and I want to be able to use this information and show my Tallies out there that it can happen. A lot of women and men have past trauma from their past relationships, or generational curses, or from parents, or just from family. You know, we all have trauma in some type of way. We have to understand that everybody deals with trauma differently. But if you, who I'm talking to right now, has trauma, you need to dig down and try to work on it. Try to either talk to somebody about it or try to change your ways for the better. Because when you add that past baggage into a new situation, into a new like beginning, it tends to deteriorate that, because that other person doesn't know how to manage you and your trauma, because trauma does hold a lot of weight, guys, especially in the beginning of a relationship. So I always say that if you want to be coming into a new situation very pure and very honest, I think putting out there that you had trauma and putting out there that, hey, this is what makes me me, and it's not always good. And if that person accepts that for you and understands that for you, that's just the most beautiful feeling, when it's like, okay, you accept me and my baggage. It's not just you accept me and then the baggage got to stay. Like, you accept me that I am not perfect. We are not perfect, people. We are not perfect. I might come in here and tell you guys, oh, you guys gotta go do this, and that. I am not perfect. I am far from perfect. However, I know that I have a lot of work to do on my own, and I know I have a lot of work to do with Dylan, and vice versa. But that's the beauty of it, that you have two people willing to work together on a journey. When you don't have two people working with you, it usually falls apart, because there's just so many, you know, elements into it that doesn't flow, because two people aren't working together. You need a partner that is gonna want to work with you. You need a partner. Point blank period. You need a partner. Don't be desperate. This is my last one, guys. Don't be desperate and don't be attached to a situation. Like, when you tell your friends or your family or whoever, like, oh yeah, if I don't get him, or if he's not my man or my girl, then like the world is over. Like, I have to get him. Like, he needs to be mine. Like, this needs to work out. When you put those type of words into that, like that, oh, it needs to happen, you don't make it flow. You don't make it happen naturally. Like, the whole point of what I said in the beginning of the video of the law of attraction, I really like, guys, I read this book like maybe once a month. It's the best book by Deepak Chopra. Law of attraction, guys. You have to understand, the minute you let things go and you don't worry about it is the minute it works out for you. It might not be that day, it might not be that week, it might not be that month, but when you're patient enough, it's gonna happen. And you're gonna be like, wow, this whole time I could have just been chilling, and look at that, you know? Stop pressing yourself that things need to happen, that things, if it doesn't happen, it's the end of the world. You gotta stop that, because nothing is gonna naturally happen if you do that. So try to like practice the law of attraction. Try to practice the law of letting go. You did all you could do, and it's now you've washed your hands and you're done. You have to literally apply that to your dating life, or else it's just like you're gonna be so emotionally attached to the men or women that come in and out your life that you're gonna go into a whole spiral, and you don't want that. So yeah, let's stop that. let's stop that now. But Tallies, that is it for my nice little chit chat on how I manifested my husband. I hope this really helps you guys, because I want all my Tallies, or any of my, you know, other subscribers that are not Tallies, to understand that it does get better. You just have to practice your thoughts within and really apply that to your daily life, and things will happen. You know, you gotta stay positive. Being positive will get you far than being a pessimist, okay? So thanks, Tallies, for watching this. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.